You know, there's another question I will be asking here. Is there a pattern to this? And this has happened in Maharashtra even before. Not many would remember when the Raza Academy violence had taken place at Azad Maidan. Women constables were targeted even that time. In fact, one woman constable, she was so upset and she said things to the effect that why do I wear a uniform if I'm not even safe in uniform? And if I'm not safe in uniform, imagine the plight of other women on the streets. But we'll talk about that in greater detail. What is Imran Masood, Congress Party MP, saying? He's praised Aurangzeb. He's a fan of Aurangzeb. But listen to what he said about women in uniform. Listen in.
एक बात ये कही जा रही है उसके अंदर एफआईआर के अंदर कि जो मॉब वहां पे इकट्ठा हुआ जो लोग उसमें शामिल थे उन्होंने महिलाओं के साथ पुलिस ऑफिसर के साथ बदतमीजी की बदसलूकी की।
ये काम तो पुलिस का है देखे, लेकिन पुलिस को वर्दी का ख्याल रखना चाहिए। उन्हें वर्दी लोगों की सुरक्षा के लिए दी है, लोगों को मारने के लिए नहीं दी है।
I want to bring in India Today's Mustafa Sheikh, who joins us with more on the story. Sumi remains with me on this broadcast. Mustafa, what more details can you get us from this FIR about how the mob assembled? What kind of rumors were spread to get the mob? Or did the mob assemble on the basis of some rumor? Or were there social media messages that were going out? Was it planned, as the police say, and on what basis are they saying so?
Well, Gaurav, picking up from where we left yesterday, today the FIR copy on one of the cases of the 6 FIRs, one FIR which is registered in Ganeshpet had come forward, and in that Fahim Khan is one of the person whose name has been mentioned. So so a protest happens by the VHP and the Bajrang Dal people where a photo of Aurangzeb and one chadar which has allegedly Islamic text is burned. Fahim Khan with his 6 supporters and many other people reaches Ganeshpet police station, demands the arrest of these accused from the VHP and Bajrang Dal. The police assures them that the FIR has been registered against 9 people and their action will be taken soon. But the police says that these people who had come to protest and asked for arrest later went to Shivaji Chowk. They were then around at 4 p.m. on Monday, 400 to 500 people. They were raising slogans. Things were being said against the police. So it was being said that it was the police who allowed the VHP and the Bajrang Dal workers to burn this text. So that is where the narrative of hate against the police was put in the minds of people who had gathered there, and what happened later, the violence which happened, has been mentioned and covered in the last few days. The new thing which also came forward, we knew that these rioters didn't spare the senior police officers, they attacked them. But what we are also knowing now is that the women police officers who were on duty, wearing their uniform, trying to do their duty, they were also, abusive language was used, abusive gestures were made, and these are things which have come forward in the FIR. One of the serious charges against these rioters is of attempt to murder and misbehaving with an officer on duty has been put. They have been sent to police custody till 21st of March. Now, Nagpur police, even today, is arresting more and more rioters, and they are putting them behind bars. About 1,200 is the total number of accused, which the police say that have been booked in the FIRs which have been registered, but many are yet to be arrested. Back to you.
Okay, Sumi, it is targeting senior police officers, attacking senior police officers, but when it comes to women police, and there is a history, what happened in the Raza Academy riots, in the violence, there also women police were targeted. It's almost as if specifically the mob went after these women police constables and not just one. Was it one isolated incident, or was several women police personnel targeted, Sumi, according to the FIR?
Yes, unfortunately, Gaurav, women become soft targets when such riots are incited. And in this particular instance also, several women were manhandled, not just one, but with one woman official. There were rioters who tried to strip her off as well. And there were incidences when the women officials have also received severe injuries. And in fact, fearing their life, they rushed into several residences in all of the sensitive route that they were deployed at. And in fact, these neighborhood and these neighborhoods neighbors, these people, the locals who live there, they tried saving the police officials, and that's how they saved their life. Otherwise, things would have been far more worse than what it is already. But there wasn't one incident, there were multiple incidents, and all of these women officials were targeted specifically, and that is what the Maharashtra police will now look into specifically. They will take a look at all of the CCTV footages. But remember, all of the CCTV cameras in and around the sensitive route, in and around 11 such areas where curfew have been prevailing since 48 hours. The CCTV cameras were specifically targeted, and it looks like a conspiracy. And in fact, in the FIR also, it is clearly mentioned that it was a hatched conspiracy. And in fact, 61 people have been detained so far. And right now, also, Crime Branch is on the ground trying to scourge through the situation, trying to scourge through the location, and in fact, is interrogating a lot of people. And all of the suspected people are being put behind bars because there were hundreds on road after the demonstrations took place on Monday. As an aftermath, Cyber Police is also looking into all of the suspicious social media accounts as well. And this is going to be interesting, how the entire violence took shape in such a city which has been otherwise very, very peaceful.
And how well was this planned? How well was this planned? How quickly were people assembled? So what does the FIR say? Stay with me. Let me get you more details. So this accused in this case is some person called Fahim Khan. He's some kind of a political leader. So this Neta Fahim Khan, he first took 50 to 60 people to the Ganeshpet police station. And Fahim Khan demanded action be taken against the Vishwa Hindu Parishad and Bajrang Dal. He wanted action against those who burnt the chadar during the protest. Fahim Khan and 8 others then asked people to gather and protest. So this started perhaps as a show of strength. Perhaps that will be investigated. That did Fahim Khan ask people to gather because they wanted to show the strength? And then what happened? Around 4 p.m., 500 to 600 people gathered around the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Chowk. The crowd then blamed the police for supporting the Vishwa Hindu Parishad and the Bajrang Dal. Slogans were shouted. A fake narrative was built, and then the police were targeted. Violence followed. Women police were specifically targeted, and the FIR lists out details of how women police personnel were targeted and they were injured in this incident. What more do we know of this Fahim Khan? What kind of a leader is he? Mustafa, what can you tell us about Fahim Khan?
Well, because he has been affiliated with a political party, he has been, contested one of the recent Lok Sabha elections. Somewhere he wanted to take the political agenda forward and go ahead and take this initiative and ask for an FIR. But clearly, what happens is that when you are leading a mob, when you're leading a protest, if that protest turns violent, if the protest does anything which is not as per law, then you are held responsible. And the same thing which seems to have happened, because Fahim Khan has been named in the FIR which has been registered. Now, whether he was the main culprit, whether he instigated this mob to turn violent, whether there was anybody else who created this message, whatever the thing may be, but the person who was leading prima facie is the person who has been named. The police has said that he is a political worker, but they are also verifying his past antecedents, if he had any criminal cases against him, and what was his real motive behind leading this protest. Because even after the police had said that the case has been registered, the mob demanded immediate arrest, and on those ground and excuse, the mob then turned violent. They used abusive language and then charged on the policemen. So that is where the main issue is here, that the Nagpur police is investigating if this was a conspiracy, who is the main link, whether it was really the spontaneous protest that is being said, because different details are coming forward. Many of the accused who were trying to be rioters, who were trying to be arrested by the police, they went inside homes and they hid themselves. And all the accused, interestingly, the names which have come forward till date in the FIR, all of them are from Nagpur. So till now, the angle which was being said that some outsiders had come and turned violent, maybe, but they have not been identified yet. All the accused
Or maybe not in this FIR. You've mentioned that there are multiple FIRs. There are multiple FIRs, right? This is one of those FIRs. Now we need to see who are the other accused and whether there was a common thread in this. Was it a much larger conspiracy? Because join the dots. This isn't the first city where a rumor was spread and then a riot happened. And this isn't the first time it's happening. Whether you look at the 2020 anti-CAA riots, rumors were spread in the national capital, and we saw riots in the national capital in CAA protests when a wide ecosystem spread a rumor that CAA will take away Muslim rights in India. No Indian Muslim will lose his rights in CAA, and yet canards were spread, and for a very long time, and riots took place. Where is that ecosystem now? Of course, American funding or a lot of foreign funding has now been curtailed. We will see how much will they continue to do so. But let me, for the benefit of our viewers, tell you a little more about who this Fahim Khan is. He's being seen as the mastermind of these riots. Nagpur city chief. He's the Nagpur city chief of what is known as the Minorities Democratic Party. He contested, as Sumi Rajappan was just telling us, the Lok Sabha elections against Nitin Gadkari in 2024. He lost the elections. He's a resident of Nagpur. And he's the one who, according to the Nagpur police, delivered that provocative speech shortly before the clashes erupted. Clash or riots? They clashed with the police, sure. But the riots, were they pre-planned? The Nagpur police clearly seems to think so. So he mobilized a crowd outside the police station. He is the one, according to the police and according to the FIR, people who chanted pro-Aurangzeb slogans. Pro-Aurangzeb slogans were chanted. Spread rumor about some holy cloth being burnt at Aurangzeb's tomb. That is how a rumor was spread, and that is how the violence took place. I want to bring in Sumi once again into this conversation. Sumi, it does appear, according to the Nagpur police, that this was very, very carefully planned, delivering a provocative speech before clashes, mobilizing a crowd outside a police station, and then chanting pro-Aurangzeb slogans, then spreading rumors about holy cloths, about some holy cloth being burnt at Aurangzeb's tomb. So all of this appears to be very well planned.
Absolutely. In fact, miscommunication is certainly the key medium through which it happened. And the miscommunication spread like wildfire. And that played a key role in inciting the violence within hours following the demonstrations that took place at Shivaji Chowk. And in fact, we had seen how VHP and Bajrang Dal were leading their protest at Shivaji Chowk, but nothing provocative had happened. In fact, they had burned the effigy of Aurangzeb, but along with it, a green sacred cloth was also burnt. And this was the narrative that was spread like wildfire, and several social media accounts were also employed to do that, which is why the cyber police is now meticulously looking into all these suspicious social media accounts as well. And this was certainly well planned, because between 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. on Monday, 50 to 60 people had assembled at Ganeshpet police station, and right outside there was an argument that also ensued between the officials as well as the MDP members. And after 3 hours or so, the violence took place, and all of the stones had been gathered. Within 3 hours, all of the heavy concrete bricks, all of the cobblestones were assembled, in fact gathered from the construction sites nearby, and had in fact brought to all these sensitive areas. And the mob had meticulously gathered at Shivaji Chowk, and from there on they dispersed to various residential areas, because the agenda was clear, the motive was clear, was to hurt and damage public property, and also to disrupt the life of common people in Nagpur, and also give out a strong message that we are not okay with what happened at the demonstration by the VHP. And this was certainly very, very clearly heard.